Today we are jumping onto a new show, Love After Lockup, and we're gonna be covering episode 3 of season I Don't Know. The seasons are so confusing. It is release day, so Soraya, her dad, her mom, and her brother are picking up Troy, and they're all sitting outside waiting for him. What's taking so long? Why is he not out yet? Where did he go? All these questions. So you guys remember how last episode Soraya was all freaked out because Troy was being taken somewhere else? Well, it's because his PO forgot that he needed to put his ankle bracelet on, and he has to have it for 2.5 years. I know I've been calling her Soraya, but I just heard Troy call her Saray before her parents take off. Dad is like, I want to do a prayer. So they all round up behind the car, hold hands, and start praying. Saraya's dad says something that I genuinely do agree with. Even though I'm not a believer, a marriage is between you and your partner, and for some people is between you, your partner, and God, which I was like, yeah, preach, dad. The parents take off and Saraya starts pulling out all the gifts that she got for Troy. We get the money bouquet, which, hubby, if you're listening, please give me a money bouquet. And Saraya and Troy cannot wait to get their hands on each other. They're so excited. Saraya has this kind of weird, cute laugh.
That's cool.
On their way to the room, Saraya shares again that she is worried about what might be hiding downstairs. But I watched according to Amber's video where she was saying that the whole storyline of him not being gifted downstairs is just fake.
It's totally made up.
Just like all the money that she spends. Troy has not been with the woman for 7 years. So he is head over heels to finally be intimate. Once they're about to go inside the hotel room, Saraya's like, hey, Troy, close your eyes. So once he walks in, there's a bunch of decorations all around the room, on the bed, the ceiling, all this stuff, a champagne bottle on the bed, It's gonna be a fun night. And Troy is so happy to see that, she did something for him like that.
Thank you, beautiful.
And then Saraya's like, wait, hold up. We're not done with the surprises. I have another surprise for you. So she takes him to the restroom and she shows him this little look-alike trash can. And she's like, that right there is to clean our private parts, mine and yours. So
What the did I sign up for?
So Troy sits down on this thing, and it's so funny because he doesn't even want to be on that. He's like, this is not for me. But he sits down and he's just covering himself with a little towel while being incredibly uncomfortable. Once he's done, Saraya's like, okay, now time for a bath. I have a feeling that Saraya was doing all of this on purpose because maybe she didn't trust him to clean himself in prison before seeing her. So she's just making sure that this man is gonna be clean from head to toes and she can be intimate with him. And I don't blame her because she's doing it in a subtle way, this is all for you. She puts him inside the bath. She covers him with bubbles and then she puts a crown on him and she's like, for my king, for my king.
Hurt me.
And that's all we get for Saraya and Troy. So I guess we'll find out next episode if he's gifted or not. Now it's Shante and True's turn. And Shante wakes up and she's already mad because True is nowhere to be found. And she's just like, where did he go? We were just intimate last night and he's nowhere to be found. So I really wonder. And then we got to True in a car with his sister. He's just talking about how he's so excited to finally be free and to not have to answer to anyone else. True says that last night was great, that they had a great time. It lasted 3 hours. And honestly, I do feel bad for Shante. We already knew that she didn't want all the things that they had purchased the night before. So I can only imagine going 3 hours with things that you don't even want to use. And it's the first time that you're being intimate with someone. She also says that it's just like when she was 17. So
well, sex was cool. It wasn't bad.
So I'm going to guess that she didn't have the best time of her life. Shante is in her couch, literally calling him while he's forwarding her to voicemail. His excuse is that, you know, he doesn't have to give anyone an answer.
I didn't tell Shante I was leaving because I ain't got to, for real.
However, this is your partner, but at the same time, you did get with an inmate that was in prison for a long time and he is free now. So of course he doesn't want to answer to anyone, including their partner. So they go to a restaurant and his sister starts pulling out a gold bracelet, a watch, and she's just like, you know, he really likes to be decked out with jewelry, so this is a gift for him. True's sister asks him how he feels about Shante, and he's like, And she tells him, you need to answer. Tell me how you feel. Like, you ain't feeling her no more. And True is like, well, the thing is that she is a homebody. And I knew this, but I wasn't aware that it was this bad. And sometimes, like, when I'm talking to her, she's wandering off, or when she does answer, she has an attitude. And then they cut to this scene where they're talking to each other.
Is the mom still open?
No.
And she does give him an attitude. I think he's really wondering if this is gonna work because he wants to go out and do things that he's been deprived of for years. True also has to get his birth certificate and his social security number because he has to make sure that he doesn't rely on anyone, especially because he needs to get a job. And his sister, again, shares how concerned she is that he got into a relationship so quickly because that's not him.
She's probably ready to settle down and you're the opposite.
Right before they leave the restaurant, Shante calls him again and he again forwards her to voicemail. And his sister is like, what's going on? Isn't that your fiance? And he says that he loves her, he cares for her, and he wants things to work. But again, goes back to his point that she's a homebody and he doesn't really like that. And then when they get in the car, he looks at his sister and he goes, hey, what's up with Tish? And who's Tish, you might be asking, right? Like, why are you talking to someone else? Well, this is his sister's friend.
I was digging, I feeling that she feeling me. She's just up and disappeared though, you know?
True, finally he makes it home, and the moment he walks in, Shantae's like pissed out of her mind. And I will be too. True starts asking her what's wrong with her. Like, you don't know, bro. Like, you didn't answer any of her calls and you've been gone for hours. And Shantae's like, well, nothing. And then she tells him, you know, you've been gone for hours and you haven't answered any of my calls. What have you been doing? And True tells her that he was actually out buying clothes and getting things for him.
I don't think I can fit these.
That's what size you told me.
We're gonna find out.
He's like, and this would have never happened if you would have gotten the sizes that I needed. And Shante is like, well, this would have never happened if you would have told me the right size. And she's freaking annoyed because everything he's doing right now is pissing her off. There was this moment where he was eating, he was snacking, and she's like, stop snacking. And he laughs. And she's like, it's not funny. So Shante is under the impression that True actually went out. His sister dropped him off at someone else's house. And then she picked him up and dropped him off again. And True's like, no, my sister wouldn't do that. And he asked her, do you think my sister will do that? And she says, yes. She doesn't even trust his sister. And this is when True is like, you know what? We're going to call my sister right now and she's going to answer your question. So he calls his sister and he asks her, hey, what did we do today? And she starts naming the stores that they went to and the things that they did. And then he's like, you see, I wasn't doing anything and I spent 18 years of my life in prison. Do you really think I'm going to come out and waste my time in a relationship that I don't want to be in? But come on, you were just thinking about Tish. Okay, so don't come over here to give us this story. And this is when True starts going in on her.
You're too shy, like boring. No offense.
And she don't even talk because she spends her whole time in her phone. And when he's asking her what's wrong, she can't say nothing because she's on her phone. So he takes it away from her and he starts like telling her to talk. But at the same time, he's bringing her down by calling her boring and saying that she's too much of a homebody. So of course, Shante is upset because she's just like, this man was telling me he loves me yesterday, and today he's telling me that I'm boring.
Like, what the hell am I supposed to do? I'm up here, I don't know nobody, you leave all day long.
Well, True is just like, she's giving me too many rules. Like, she's giving me too many restrictions, and I don't like rules. So of course he wants to rebel towards her.
I hate rules. Do this. I need you to do that.
One thing that I did forget to say is that when True showed up to the house and said that he went shopping, he didn't come back with any shopping bags. So of course, that is a reason why Shante is wondering, what the heck were you doing if you said you were shopping and you have no shopping bags with you? The next day, they're off to seeing his parole officer, and he's trying to get in the car so he can drive. And he's only trying to drive like a block or two. And Shante right away tells him, no, you're not gonna drive. Like, we're about to go see your parole officer. Correct me if I'm wrong, that he cannot drive because he's actually in parole. So, or maybe he doesn't have a license.
Get in the car.
It's happening again that True is asking her to do something for him that could be a little risky, but you know, it gives him that adrenaline, and Shante is telling him no. I personally would have let him drive 2 or 3 blocks, and then I would have been like, okay, you know, let me take the car. While in the car, Shante tells True to get everything sorted out so they can do, you know, some stuff because she's bored. And then he starts telling us that when he's bored, he likes to get his leg on.
To go make some money. Let's go rob something.
It's like trying to keep a kid entertained. And I could see why Shante might actually get annoyed of having to do all of this. And he's even talking crap about his parole officer while in the car. So they arrive to the offices. He gets down, 20 minutes pass. He comes back out and he tells Shante that he hates this because he did not want this to be a job. And she's like, what were you expecting? Like, did you really think that this was going to be fun and games? Shante gets upset and she's just like, you know what? You're not even taking this seriously. Like, this is your freedom and it feels like you're playing with it. It feels like you're playing games. So she steps out of the car and she tells the producers to actually take her mic off. But in her confessional, she tells us that she's doubting all of this process because it seems like he doesn't even want to try. And why would she want someone?
You can't even make the best decisions for you. What the are you doing for us?
Maybe you should have thought about that before you got into a relationship with him. Just saying. Now we're moving on to Julian and Christine, and they are on their way to their home with their adorable cat. And on their way there, Julian pulls out her phone and he gives it to her, and she starts going through her emails, you know, just checking what she got. And one of those emails, she sees one email from her mom from years ago when she was incarcerated, telling her to turn herself in. Christine says that she has always had a complicated relationship with her mother because when she was little, technically, she wasn't raised by her mother. She was raised by her grandmother and her grand aunt.
We finally got her together. I was 11 years old.
By that time, Christine wanted nothing to do with her. And I get her. It's just so heartbreaking. A couple years ago, she tried to turn to her mom because she realized that she had a drug addiction. And her mom, instead of trying to help her or, you know, send her to rehab or anything like that, actually reported her to the police, and she lost custody of her son. So now her mom has custody of her oldest. Christine also shares that she really wants to get custody of her kids back. So her main goal is to get her life back on track so she can finally be with them. Because back when she, you know, robbed that bank, she was doing it because she didn't want anything else in her life. She either wanted to be dead or be in prison. There was no in between. Julian then says Christine has been kept away from her twins, and the biological parent doesn't want Christine to have anything to do with the kids. Honestly, I am split in the middle because if Christine does do what she needs to do and becomes the mother that she should be, then she should be allowed to see her kids. But I also understand the baby daddy and now wanting her to see the kids because you don't want bad influences in your kid's life. And if someone that, you know, is their mother is bringing that into their life, he's just looking out for them. And so they're actually going to a hotel, and Christine and Justin are just incredibly excited to be intimate with one another because the last time they did it was before she got arrested for violating her parole, and that he knows.
Going downtown, baby. He's so good at that.
So she's extremely excited. And then she's like, yeah, and I'm good myself. I have a lot of experience. So yeah, they get on the bed, they get nasty. Also, they like to
get that raw dog.
They want to do it all. But that's gonna be all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think about this couples. Let me know what you guys think about the video. If you guys enjoyed it, if you guys liked it, please make sure you hit like, leave a comment or two so you can let me know if you do like the coverage on Love After Lockup, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.